Hello, everyone, and welcome to another fantastic night of Smite Prime. I'm Culture, joined by Sin4, and we have the semis of the Battle of Asgard for you. Will be Los Ayuwokas on the blue side, and oh hey, on that red side. First, I want to ask Sin4, how are you doing tonight? It's a Tuesday night, pretty early in the week.
I'm doing good, and I'm watching this Thoth getting out pressured by an Erlong.
Yeah, talk to me about that a little bit because this is an odd lane from oh hey, Awesome Jake and Fries, and the Thoth tier lane. Not something I would expect coming out in this duo lane. Is there anything particularly cheesy that they're trying to pull off here? Because right there, like you said, it looked like it didn't work, and even a blink coming out from Awesome Jake and some early action. It looks like Lodo has a teammate here, Cheetah with the RDO. They should be able to find this tier eventually. They're just kind of playing with their food. He's actually going to run around the Gold Fury and escape with his life. But already, Low seeing the advantage in the lane and trying to take care of it.
Yeah, so this is an interesting start. Actually, what blue team is doing here is something that we've seen kind of a lot. We saw it a lot at Worlds, especially from Splice, is just throwing their soul laner over there to try and give duo lane some pressure. And as you can see, Artio though.
Cheeto, what are you doing?
Off.
Oh my goodness, tries to leave, but Awesome Jake said, you're not going anywhere. And now it looks like Houdini will go down first. Friesen picking up the kills. So that dual lane that we were talking about, a little bit odd that we saw from Worlds. Well, we see why. And now it looks like Bayron, Baron Neri? You know what? Yeah, the Shibalanke. That guy going extremely low.
Yeah, so what we see there, the issue is, I think it just took them a little too long. Like what Blue wanted to do there was the RDO comes over, helps with the first wave. They kill that purple, and then RDO immediately teleports back to her tower because she only loses a couple creeps on her wave at worst. So you don't really lose anything. The problem is that they took that weird fight in the jungle. The RDO was there too long, and Soul, just having good clear in general, was able to get there and kind of turn that fight in red team's favor.
Talking about turning fights, Pagan turning it around. It was Chobi on this Jonqui, and he had Spreen with him as well. They thought they found Pagan in the lane, but him along with Glavis on this Romano were able to turn things around, and they find a kill there. And the dual lane again, Houdini going extremely low, and although Awesome Jake and Friesen are joining him with their life below half health, it feels like they have such control over this lane.
Yeah, Tyr actually just getting buffed. His base heal his base heal is a lot more actually now. So he was gonna have some more sustained lane, but I guess it's not gonna be enough. Awesome Jake kind of known for his interesting picks, these tier Samukong supports that we've been seeing a lot in Combine. The Thoth also being a weird pick. I thought that fight at the start with the soul rotation was going to give them the pressure they needed, but it looks like Erlong is still going to be giving them a bit of trouble.
It seemed like he let the Awesome Jake let the lead that they had gotten play him a little bit there, and he went in. You were talking about that region, and it just wasn't there in the 2v1, and there's no way Friesen can join him on the back end of that fight. So, if all things said and done, it looks like the lanes are just about even out, but a blink in from Awesome Jake. He's not done with his Shibalanke. He's going to Rising Jaguar out of there. The Thoth tries to finish off. They will be able to get the stun, and Friesen finds one more, but not before returning the kill. Bayrona Uri picking up that help from the minions.
Yeah, really good play by the Shibalanke there to turn and get the darts off. He knew he was dead anyways because he had no beads. So turning and fighting there, I mean, that was just the best call that he could make. And getting that return kill is, well, it's going to make things a little bit better for him. And they're probably still going to have pressure off that. I think what they need to do is just make sure that the Thoth isn't getting too big. The recent Thoth buffs and everything. You certainly do not want to be getting hit by a Thoth all late game.
So do you think that means that more attention needs to come from Spreen to this duo lane, given that there's been all this early action? It seems like most of it has gone in favor of, oh, hey, he was in mid lane for a minute, did get a kill over to the Jonqui, but should he be focusing on this duo lane instead?
I definitely think that with how much fighting we've already seen in duo, that the fight is going to stay there. I don't see Spreen trying to gank of Amana anytime soon. And even even as I say that, both junglers kind of having the same idea wrapping around here on the duo side.
Glavis will be met by Sprint Jungle. He gets taken out with the Windfire Wheels. This could be a kill, but Tyr is on the back end. Awesome Jake wanting to help his jungler. Glavis will be able to escape forward now. He might run into Zhang Kui on the back end. So that should be a cleanup. However, it looks like the Erlang Shin had to barely escape with his own life, and now Tyr is left alone with 4. He should be cleaned up here momentarily, but Phrasen is here to join the fray.
Really good grouping by blue team here. Ooh, and that Thothall just off the mark. But yeah, like I'm saying, both junglers over there on the left side, and Robin actually getting caught out. Robin most popular for, I think, the survivability in his kit. His 2 almost the 3 beads and Aegis, and his ult either doing a lot of damage and making some carry's life absolutely painful, or just being able to ult away in general and playing really safe. But he just kind of ate the Ne Zha ult, and that was the end of the story. He came out one shot and good rotation by Zong to clean him up. Thothalt just a little bit out of range, saves the Shibalanka, and blue team's gonna go 2 for 0 in that trade.
You see the goal difference there on the bar, just a plus 1,000 in favor of Ohe, and I think that the one good thing you can say from Los Ayuokis is Glaos was looking for the gank, but the blinking from Tyr, he finds the Shibalanke. The Darkest Night will be popped, but that may not be enough to save his life. He does have Erlang Shin here with him, and the Windfire, the Shash finds one. They actually turn around on a Glavis. Now they're going to try and run it back on Ohe. That's the Windfire Wheels right there, and Scream will find the kill. Phrasen is able to escape, but they throw 2 more kills over to the side of Los Ayuokis. Ohe just being a little bit over-aggressive and not respecting this other team.
Ne Zha doing... Ne Zha is just the story of these fights, right? Like, he's doing so much. His ult, he's getting really good ults on carries that don't have any actives up. And I don't know, the Robin just seems to not be able to do... He isn't having the same impact. They dumped so much there into an Erlang Shen, who, yeah, has Traveler's Boots and isn't as tanky, but is still pretty tanky, and they don't get anything off of it. And in return, Ne Zha gets and cleans up.
Talking about tanky, we saw the damage there in the mid lane here. Glavis is trying to find the kill on the Cheetah, but Cheetah able to escape with his life, but they'll at least push him out of lane for now. It looks like Spreen again is here trying to kill Glavis. He goes down again! Again, that's 0-3-1 now for the Ravana, and in the mid lane, Chovy picks up another one. Los is just starting to run away with this game. Again, off the back of over-aggression from OA.
Yeah, Red Team really, exactly what you said. Red Team, all of these fights, just really, really aggressive plays, but they're always, there's something missing. Always they're dropping something. They're dumping too much into one character, not getting a kill, or they're staying a little too long. You saw the Vimana actually got that back off, and that seemed to be a split call to me because, Glavis really wanted to go on that RDO, but he did not kill that RDO. And what happened? Ne Zha showed up and cleaned up. That's just been every fight so far. And if they keep letting that happen, you don't even want to see what this Ne Zha is going to be doing to Thoth and Soul in the late game. It's not going to be pretty.
I mean, talking about Ne Zha, I'm worried about this Zhang Kui too. And the one thing that you have to admire from Ohe is, as you said with Awesome Jake and Phrasen, wanting to innovate, and well, not innovate, Splice already did it, but be flexible with how they do their draft. However, Thoth does take a minute to get online. Zhang Kui does not. In the battle of magic carries, Zhang Kui will win, at least in her early game. They do have the Soul that is slowly working. I believe she does have the Telcanes, but that's literally only one person on her team that's really big right now. The Vimana hasn't even done anything just yet in this game. And really, I just had to look at Glavis because earlier he had a little bit of advantage on Spreen. Oh my God, Phrasen!
And there's that Thoth damage off the ult already starting to show itself there. So the scaling on Thoth ult has gone up from, it was originally nerfed to 100% scaling. It's now back to its original 120%, which is where you might have seen a lot of angry people on the Reddit back in the day. Thoth ult being notorious for one-shotting you anytime you try to siege anything, and starting to show itself there. He does have the Book of Thoth online now, so once he gets that stacked, it's gonna be a scary Thoth. But yeah. I agree with what you said earlier about the Zhang Kui, just being a lot more early game than the Soul. and being able to rotate a little bit faster, having boots, whereas Soul only has the movement speed off the telekines. Zong just providing a lot of AoE pressure and with that very scary ult and being tanky as a part of it. That's going to cause problems, especially if he gains a very big lead.
We'll see how that will affect hey later on when the team fight phase starts up. And you're talking about Thoth. He had a little bit of help there, just a tiny bit of help. It wasn't like the I believe that was Houdini that went, or no, it was the Shiblanque Barrow Neri that went down. He was already about 1/8 health left, and looks like Tyr wants to hop in to try and find this fight. Houdini's able to escape. For now, there's a lot of oh hey roaming down to this duo lane. The only one that's not there is Vamana. He's pushed Artio back. I believe he doesn't have the teleport up, but it would still be a 4v2, 4v3, 4v4 as Jonqui roams down. And I'm looking in the jungle right now because there's a lot of action going down, but it looks like the Darkest Night popped here and they will get Frazy.
Yeah, really a questionable dash there by the Thoth. Dashing into two people in duo. I don't know if he thought his jungler was a little bit closer or what, but now Robin in the air again, and wow.
Spreen has just had his number this entire game, and it's only in 11 minutes. I mean,
ouch.
The net worth of this Ravana is only climbing to about 5.6k gold compared to about 1,000 gold in response. But looking right now on the map, forget stats. Pagan's going to go down here in a second. There's Erlong Shin. Not just yet. He's able to escape for now, but the other on the back end should be able to clean up the kill with Chovy. Chovy, though, having to fight off two. Vamana pops his own ultimate. Able to find one. His teammate will go down around him. He's just trying to slowly whittle away at damage and walk away if he can. He sticks around close enough, but I don't think between Cheetah and Spreen that they can take down this Vamana just yet.
Yeah, well, Vamana ult is down. A good ring bounce could do it, but Vamana dash just... he's going to knock him up and he's going to get away. Fast little Vamana, they're never going to catch him. So good 1 for 2 there. Actually, we see that whole fight starting off at red team's purple buff. Actually, blue team being the ones playing aggressive. And then we see a really aggressive re-engage from red, which, you know, isn't very surprising because they've been playing aggressive all game and it still just doesn't work out. The one surprising thing is it seems... the one thing I like from red, though, is that they're not playing scared, even though they seem to be losing a lot of these fights. You notice they're still 1k up. Glavis is still solo invading blue team's red buff, and he is not afraid to do so. You know, and if they keep that up, that'll be good for them. Even if they are losing these fights, staying even in farm just is going to be good for them.
Awesome Jake has to pop the tier ultimate, just trying to escape, but he won't get away from Spreen. That's another one killing spree here on the Neja. And yeah, I understand what you're saying, that while he's down on his luck as far as the kill score, he's still responding with the gold, and Pagan gonna barely escape here. He won't get away from Chovy, though. Eventually, he will lose his life. They're trying to look for Glavis one more time, but Cheetah can't land that first stun. Eventually, Chovy does still find the kill underneath tower, and here comes on Froy, the Vamana. I believe he has his ult as well. He's gonna pop it and try and look for one. Thoth on the back end finds the ult. So Frizen finding one more. And Cheetah, now he's the one trying to escape. Here.
I think he will be able... oh, no, he's going to get slowed by Vamana, and he's going to fall. So, a 2 for 2. Not really in favor of anyone. I guess the gold lead is kind of even up, and red might look to do Gold Fury here. See, the thing is, Blue's winning these fights, right? But they're not getting any objectives off of it, which is why they're not getting any kind of a lead. And red team maybe going for this objective? I'm not sure. Erlong kind of hovering. I don't think red's going to commit to it. They don't really have a damage with no ADC. Soul being dead. She kind of providing that ADC role, but she's not there. It's not going to go down.
The Sash did find on Fro, but he's able to just run away on the Vamana. And I agree with you. I think that if they found the ship on, the Blinken and the Windfire Wheel sends him up. He's going to come right back down, but Awesome Jake does have Glavis's back. Doesn't matter. Spreen finds that kill. Now it's a 3v1 for the tier. He's going to follow suit and follow his own jungler to the grave very, very soon. He's navigating around the Gold Fury, but he should eventually go down to Chobi, trying to make sure he doesn't get the kill back over to the John Kui and feed him even more. But it doesn't matter. It happens. And as he says it, it is so. They cookie-footed around that objective, and they paid for it.
I would love to have seen them try and set up some kind of ambush at the Gold Fury there. I know Thoth ult is up, and it's scary to do any kind of objective with a Thoth ult up, but I really think they could have baited something with Soul on this right side. Vamana also, I still think that they win that 4v2, and they could have easily done any kind of bait, and wow, Zhang Kui showing how much damage he really does early.
Yeah, he already has that ruin. I mean, he already has enough pin early in this game at 8-2-5, besides having a level advantage over most of his opponents to just wreck anyone that gets near him, as you saw right there. And we talked about it. Now, I feel like, Sin, it's going to be up to Ohei to sort of work their way back into this, but also doing it through the Soul or maybe even the Vamana. I know Phrasen's at 4-2-1. But besides hitting good Thoth ults, I haven't really seen his presence so far in this game.
Yeah, well, that's just kind of the story of Thoth ADC. And I don't know if the pick was kind of for fun, if Phrasen just said, hey, I'm going to play Thoth ADC this game, because it's not really something you ever see. But if it is something they're trying to play smart, Thoth is just going to farm until he is going to be that one-shot character at the end of the game. So the only time he's going to be rotating is try and secure objectives or steal objectives or get a big ult in a fight. He's not going to be trying to brawl the Shibalanke a ton or anything like that. And actually, a good objective there by blue team, but red team actually losing 2 teams in right. The Soul could just kind of split pushing. Ooh,
and now they almost found it. Phrasen just barely not finding the damage there onto Houdini. It is 19-7 so far. Gold lead actually even despite it being a 6, or that's the wrong math, a 12 kill difference. It's still relatively even, as you said earlier. The only one that seems to have really set himself apart for the side of Los Ayokis is Chobi on this Zhang Kui, and eventually the Thoth and the Soul are going to catch up. Thoth seem to be there, and also, I have to commend Glavis on building the anti-heal with the beat stick. So, Ohei is still in this one, but Sinfor, what else do you need to see from them in order for them to just take this lead back? Or I guess expand the lead that they have that will make it feel like they actually are in the driver's seat.
So, when Ohei just needs to win a fight. Their objective control in general is way, way, way better than Blues right now. Actually, them getting that tier 1 and tier 2 in right, the reason we see even gold here is because that tier 2 is worth just as much as the Gold Fury. And blue team's not getting they're not getting anything off the fights. If we look at the team fight way earlier, they just seem to be diving a little too long. Their priorities aren't straight. Neja's doing a lot of work, and they're getting these really clean picks, but they need to be doing something else off of those picks than just fighting more. You know? They could get a really clean pick on that Robin and then try and force an objective, but it's just not what they're doing. And red team needs to capitalize off that and be doing that so that they can kind of get that secured lead over blue team instead of this kind of back and forth 500 gold lead on whomever, and then kind of go from there.
And the clock is ticking down too, because eventually, Ohei, they're going to scale up. Eventually, this Thought's going to do massive damage regularly. Eventually, the Soul's going to do the same thing, and Vamana will be unstoppable. So, Los Ayokis, you need to put on the burners here. That looks like they're going to stack 4 in mid. Shibalanke recalling, and again, just a lot of inaction. I want to see them try and go for a Pyromancer, try and force a fight that they can win, because right now it's just looking like they're content with having Ohei run at them. And yeah, that works eventually for a while, but against a scaling comp, not for long. It's a little bit of a skirmish in the mid lane. Both teams are going to come forward. Chobi blinks forward to try and find Phrasen. He will get the Aegis out of him. Darkest Night comes out from the Shibalanke, and the Windfire Wheels will catch the Thoth in the back. And now Awesome Jake's one that has to run away. He has teammates trying to come in. Glavis and Pagan are here. Can they find a damage? It's all hell is broken loose right now. But it still looks like Ohei will lose this fight. Chobi's just too big. Cheetah won't fall. Bayroni finds his own. And that will be 3 kills for 0 in favor of Los Ayokis.
That was such a clean team fight. from blue team there. So Jean Kui picking up that blink gives him, a really like the ability to just engage very safely and then just kind of pop his damage in Aegis. And what we saw there is he blinks in, he gets both actives on that Thoth, who is pretty big because he's had a lot of time to farm, and he forces all the actives. Neja, blink in, takes him up in the air, he's gone, and from there, it's still over. They lose their Thoth, they lose all the damage from Thoth. Red team is just kind of behind in general. Robin is not doing anything compared to what this Neja's doing. And finally, blue team gets a clean fight and they get an objective off of this. This is what blue team has been needing to do all game, and they finally did it. Awesome Jake looking for the steal, not going to get it, and blue team, they're just going to back off here. There's no way Awesome Jake can do anything with the four of them all grouped up like that.
It looked like he was going to go for a little bit more there, but you're right. He played it smart, said, you know what, I'm just going to walk away. I don't have anyone around me, and there's four of you guys, and I know I'm awesome, but I'm not that awesome. And so he leaves. And early, I know this game is still relatively early. The kills make it seem like it's later, 23-7 right now. Goal lead in favor of Los Ayawokis, but barely. But right now, the MVP running is Spreen. I know 929 on Chobi looks great, but China's done just so much, not only shutting down Glavis, but then using his lead. Already has the Runeforge hammer, got the Magi's as well to protect himself from CC. And I have to go back to that play. You were talking about how Friesen had to burn his Aegis to dodge one ulti, and that set up Spreen. But that timing from Spreen was superb. He hit the sash just as the Aegis deactivated and found the kill, and that set up the rest of his team to wipe that.
Yeah, so with the Jean Kui's build, he slapped in the Gem of ISO there, and the card Gem of ISO combo slowed Thoth so much that I think he was scared that he was not going to get out of that fight without burning the beads. So it just set up the Neja perfectly. He got a free ult. There was nothing Thoth can do. He has no CC immune abilities. And, he didn't have dash up. He's not going to get away. He's just kind of a sitting duck at that point, or sitting whatever kind of bird Thoth is. And now blue team going to be pushing down this left side here.
I know this one. I know it's a city. Is it in Igbo? It's like an extinct bird that used to be in Egypt. I can't. God, I thought I knew history, but I don't. Looks like the blink coming from Chobi.
It sounds something right.
Yeah, he thought he found Pagan, but Pagan able to Aegis out, but that will secure this tower, and now he just can't walk close to a fight again ever, it seems, because if he does, he will get deleted by this Jean Kui. Earlier, Baroniri, eventually I'll get his name right, styled on Awesome Jake and showed that, he flexed his muscles a little bit, say, I'm here, I'm 6'2" and 6, all right. I have the rage, I have my executioner, I do damage, and now another objective will go down in favor of Los Ayawokis. This time it will be the Gopher. I wasn't able to keep track of which one that one was, but it's another objective all the same.
Believe that was the green one that gives you extra damage to objectives. So, pretty good for blue team here. I have noticed, last couple minutes, they've been playing safe, especially since I got that Fire Giant. I like that they didn't really force a big fight and left. They got the towers, they got the Gold Fury, and they got out. Spreen was a nuisance over on the right side, just trying to deny Glavis of any kind of farm before blue team really goes to siege or really goes to fight at that upgraded Fire Giant. What blue team's going to do here is, I see them just going to get the rest of the towers, setting up for Fire Giant, and expanding that gold lead so that when they do go to fight, they can get another good clean fight like they had earlier and secure that Fire Giant, which is much harder to do when there's people on you.
Dark as the Night popped in here in the mid lane. It will be the one Firewheel's finding Glavis. He's able to escape for now, and the Thoth ult does whiff. So that means that's 2 ultis down for the side. Oh, hey, but Los Ayawokis had to sacrifice 3 just to try and initiate that fight, and they're fighting around his tower. Too many members of Oh Hey are low right now to contest, so this tower should go down eventually for that fight. But do you think that might come back to bite Los Ayawokis? It's already coming back to bite one of their members as the Ardio goes down the back.
Yeah, Ardio going a little deep there, not even going through the tower, just kind of going behind where her team couldn't get to her. And now Glavis is back, but he's eating the crits.
Hey, he whiffed the ultimate, eats the crits. However, they were able to separate the backline. Now they have the Shibalanke all on his lonesome. They will find a kill. Vamana picking up that one. Spreen trying to respond onto Onfroy, but he'll just umbrella his way out and walk away with peace and love. But he'll kill Chobi first. Fryson the one getting the kill over the wall before he has to leave. And now red team, they smell blood. They're going to keep pushing. They won't find a kill on the Spreen, but they do have a minion wave coming through, and this tower does seem likely to be theirs.
Such a good re-engage by red team. Blue team did it again. They did it again. They don't just force the objectives. They always one of them going way too deep. Cheetah there, really throwing it at the speed buff. Great re-engage by Glavis. I'd kind of say he's starting to get back into the groove. And with this tier support and a Vaughn solo, red team just has so much frontline that blue team's carries just didn't know what to do in that fight.
And Awesome Jake does find air launch on the back end. It will be Cheetah. He might be sent right back to the fountain. Brother, you just got back up, and now he's going to fall right back down and on that gray screen. One thing I have to say, now that we have a little bit of a lull, is I think that, to your point, blue side is underestimated at what stage of the game they were in. If you look at a lot of the builds for Oh Hey, they have a lot of reductions and penetration now. We're not at that early stage where they can't do a ton of damage. They can get through a lot of that, but Spreen tries to blink, and he didn't realize there were 3 members around the side, and now he could get deleted, and he will fall eventually with Bayroni. Neri does find Awesome Jake first. Somehow Spreen is still alive, and he gets away, and now Chobi's on the chase. Frazen is there. He doesn't get stunned up, and he will be able to walk away for now, but Pagan has no mana. I don't believe he has his beads back up either, or his Aegis. No, Aegis is up, so you'll be able to escape, but Chobi's chasing through, and what looked like red side, we were just giving them a bucket of milk, and they kicked it over, basically.
Yeah, blue team doing a pretty good job re-engaging there. Probably they weren't going to get much off of that, but I do like that they, just did something to make sure that red team didn't get anything more off of blue team's original first mistake. I like the re-engage by Spreen there, and they definitely did have to do something because, like you said, Cheetah came out of base, and then Cheetah went back to base. So not having that front line is going to make it really hard to defend in a siege situation.
Now they have the Pyromancer. I feel like Oh Hey had a window, and then they show us the Oh Hey that was at the start of this game with Glavis, everyone acting too over aggressive, going for ganks in lanes, and just being disrespectful. Period. Not in a bad way, but just not respecting what their opponent can do overall on the map.
I think that's just kind of the personality of both of these teams. Both teams are those teams that really like to be aggressive. Sometimes we just see that tunnel vision. But red team here actually going to be starting up Fire Giant. Maybe they're looking for a pick. I think they've realized that Cheetah might be someone they can take out pretty early. Ooh, but
it looks like Kuni's even on Oh Hey's back line, and Austin Jake has to find his way out. Onfroy will be here. He's fighting Cheetah on the far back end of the fight. It is Glavis trying to escape. He will be able to do so just now. And honestly, well, hold on. Chobi finds one. It would be Glavis. I thought he was going to escape, but Spreen finds the kill. He did use the Windfire Wheels to find that one. Frazen going low. Cheetah will find a kill after the Darkest Night was there to stun him up. So that will send 2 members of Oh Hey packing. And now Los Ayawokas can go ahead and start this Enchanted Fire Giant. And Sin 4, I legitimately think they were looking to sneak that and realize they couldn't. And they're like, oh God, I'm stuck.
Yeah, I don't know. That was kind of an odd call. The thing is, even though red team got that gold lead back, like you said, it's approaching 30 minutes into the game, and blue team actually, they're going to get that Fire Giant, and they're going to look for anything. Oh, this is just a bloodbath.
Yeah, the question is,
trying to get away.
At what cost did you take this Fire Giant? It will be at the cost of everybody. Erlongshin being the only one left. It's him versus Pagan in the 1v1. Can he find the auto attacks? Erlongshin, Houdini, trying to find his while he's working around this wall. If he can get it enough time to get one more stun, he can try and turn this around. Instead, he's just going to try and book it and save this Fire Giant, who will be able to escape. But Los Ayawokas, yeah, you get the Enchanted Fire Giant, but you only get it on 1 member. 1 and 4 fall down. Shut down gold goes over to Oh Hey. And now Oh Hey, they have the gold lead again and can look to retake this game.
Yeah, the problem with this, the Fire Giant now, we have the puddles back. It's old Fire Giant. And after 25 minutes, when it's upgraded, it is really hard to do. And it's also really hard to do when the other enemy team is blinking in and fighting you inside the fire pit. what we see there is a lucky secure, I think, from blue team, and they get the fire giant, but they threw too much into the fire giant and they lose the fight. So we see only one person left, it being the tanky Erlong. No surprise there. Good job, I guess, by them to still almost deicide. I didn't see Erlong ever winning that fight against a solid Bancrofts, but it's anyone's game now. Fire on one Erlong isn't going to give blue the biggest advantage in the world, so it's going to be interesting to see what these teams try and do next. Oh, Spreen here off the mark.
Whiffs the first attempt. That was his ultimate as well, so he whiffed the ultimate, and now Ohei can try and look for the fight. The backline, Vamana is there, running straight towards Xbalanque. We'll give Houdini enough time, though, to take out Pagan, so he does do enough damage to at least find a kill with some help. But Glavis finally finds an ultimate and finds a kill on the Baroniri, and now Spreen is left all alone with Houdini trying to fend off 3 members of Ohei, and it looks like eventually they will fall. There is no hope for this Los Ayawokis squad in this team fight, or is there, as Chobi turns around on Glavis, and now the fight is a 3v3, and Los Ayawokis has it all in their favor, but Chobi's going extremely low. Mana will eventually find a kill on him, and it will be Houdini having to face down 2. Ardio's on the other side trying to kill Frazen. Let's see how that works out, but eventually this fight will end, and it looks like it's going to end in Ohei's favor.
Houdini, he's going to try and get out of there, and it looks like Ardio too. It's just like,
great stun.
Oh, great blink by Awesome Jake. We've seen so many of these kind of clutch blink fearlesses by Awesome Jake this game. Freyson, ult back up. Huncho actually going to clean him up, but the return kill from Vamana onto Cheetah, and this Erlong could be in trouble, but I have a feeling he's pretty tanky. As soon as the animals come up, he's going to be able to get out of there. Oh, but he's so slow. He's so slow.
Vamana's going to knock him back up, and they'll catch up with him eventually. He does get one more stun off, but...
And Vamana actually blows the ult just to make sure he can get the autos off.
Let me actually be clear. That fight lasted so long that Onfroy got his ultimate twice. He used it earlier when the fight first started around the Gold Fury, and then he just used it there to clean up the kill. That's how long that lasted, and it leads me to this point. I want to ask you, what do these teams have to do to clean up these fights in 4? Because all these fights, it seems, have either been a rout or they've been extremely messy, but Baroniri getting caught out here in the jungle. He's going to still try and go for red buff, although he just took a ton of damage from Tier. He'll still get it, though. However, Gold Fury does go over to Ohei.
These teams just don't stop fighting. Every time they fight, you think the fight's over, and then someone else goes in. So we see that initial fight start off. Green just whiffs the ult, but somehow they still kill Soul in the backline. And then you think, oh, red team will back off. They lost their mid laner. Nope, Glavis goes in, one shots the Xbalanque. And the fight continues. So I think good on red team there. Actually, Glavis finally doing more than the Neja in one of these fights. But it's just so sloppy from both teams. And honestly, there's not really much to fight over at 32 minutes if Fire Giant's down. If you're not sieging a tower or a Phoenix, I don't know. I wouldn't throw the game over some bad fight at gold. But these two teams are just willing to beat each other until they're both sweating in the corner of the ring, and no one wants to move.
I mean, I wouldn't throw the fight around objectives. Period. Like you said, like both of these teams seem evenly matched, but for the wrong reasons. It feels like Ohei has the goal lead, but it feels like they've disrespected Los Ayawokis overall as far as just individual skill to skill. Awesome Jake and Frazen being a little bit over-aggressive with their positioning. You have Glavis not playing well, but still going in for kills and whatnot. And on Los Ayawokis side, they're disrespecting Ohei, but in a more general sense of the end game because of them not understanding what items Ohei has and that, they're actually in this game. They have the penetration, they have the protections and the debuffs to withstand fights so that we were winning so easily earlier. And they keep taking these fights just on the assumption that Chobi and Baroniri and Spreen are going to be able to chunk through targets extremely quickly, and that's just not happening anymore.
Yeah, both teams having a distinct lack of defensive relics as well. On the tier, we got a Beads and a Blink, so we know all he wants to do is blink in and be a frontliner. And on the other side as well, we have upgraded Sunder and upgraded Ong for the Vamana. So the problem with these fights is that the carries are all just going to die if they don't get enough peel. One of these teams has to say, "Hey, I know we're having a lot of fun smacking each other around, but maybe a tank comes back and peels for my ADC so that we can actually win a fight and get an objective after, because the only people left alive aren't just the support, you know?"
Yeah, when are we gonna start playing some high tier quality Smite? It's been fun in games playing, the 5v5, just run it down mid and fight each other. But when are we gonna see those smart pushes around, those baits and engages? And it looks like hey trying to set up. Glavis is pushing in that middle wave. There are 3 members of Los Ayawokis here, but it seems like they're just posturing because they're so afraid of hey starting this fire giant without them knowing.
Yeah, and blue team looking for anything here. Actually, Spring using his ult in the mid lane, but going on to the Robin, and I think Robin finally used his CC immunity to get away from that. Oh, and Zonkui in a lot of trouble. Aegis forced out.
Still be able to escape for now, but he should fall eventually. Spreen might fall with him. No, he's able to turn around! But Pagan does find him, and then the Vermont finds Toby on the back end as well. That's 2 members down for the side of Los Ayawokas. They're still fighting in the front. Is Sheena trying to survive long enough to withstand the onslaught from Onfroy? Pagan is here, and Frazen is laying down the damage from across the wall in the back. Looks like Onfroy should eventually chase down Cheetah. Awesome Jake trying to do his best to support his Thoth. They get the Aegis out of the Shibalanke, but Pagan will clean him up, and that should be an open Phoenix and what could possibly be the game, as Cheetah's still stuck on the wrong side of the map.
Yeah, that's basically just a free Phoenix for Red Team here, and they actually might be looking for the end. Vamana doing a good job not letting the RDO back. The problem is this Soul is in a lot of trouble. Oh, and I feel like felt like she was forced to juke back into the Titan there. She actually takes 1 shot, and that's all it takes from that Titan. Soul actually falls down. Red Team's chances of ending right there are now about none. We actually see a huge wave over in left team there actually being pinged out. These new waves, with season 5, the waves were reworked so that they focus on objectives if they're inside of the objective circle, and they don't focus on the other creeps. And so now we see normal waves of minions just destroying Phoenixes or towers because they stack up, and everyone thinks, oh, hey, that's not going to be an issue. It's never been an issue in the past. And then your Phoenix is gone. So Red Team almost losing a Phoenix there, but gaining one instead. And let's talk about that fight. It started out with a missed Neja ult in mid, and then Tyr ulting over the wall, and what should have been a Zonkui that was dead so quickly, somehow he gets this return kill onto Glavis. He has a super clutch Aegis. He gets all the damage all in his off. Beautiful, but Red Team still just winning the fight, just having more damage in the end once the Zonkui actually falls. The Robin, he did his job. He forced some actives, and yeah, he died, but he set up for his team to win the fight, and they got a Phoenix off of it, and that's all they needed.
And now we'll see what else can they find, as Baroneer might be the one found here. Onfroy uses his own ultimate, and the blink will come through from Awesome Jake, so Shibalanke should eventually fall, but I've said that so many times, at least this time, it is true on the first go-around. And they've also found Chobi on the back, and he was trying to support his Hunter, but it might be to his own demise, as he'll eventually go down as well. Cheetah picks up that kill. And now in the mid lane, even more action as Awesome Jake goes extremely low. Houdini's trying to provide some space for Spring to escape. It's a 3v4. Can they turn around? It's 3 tanks versus a damage dealer and 3 other tanks. Looks like eventually they will. The sash does miss. Cheetah slowly going down by the double stun here. Houdini finds 1. Can he find 1 more? Glavis is stuck in the back all alone, and Spring, he won't even get the full proc of the Windfire wheels, but it's enough to find the kill. And somehow Los Ayawokis, although they lost both their carries at the beginning of that fight, turn it around and win it and send Hey packing for what seems like a 3rd time.
It's really just an unfortunate story of the tank spank, I think, for the Red Team here. So we have a Tyr support, and Tyr's 2 forms of CC that aren't the slope from his ult are both dashes, and blue team, probably for that reason, grabbed the RDL, and so there's just no peel. I feel like there's just no peel for this Soul because Soul just keeps dying in the back. These tanks are just running at her, and she's saying help, 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 help. There's no defensive relics. Tyr can't do anything when that, however long that cripple is on Artio. I think it's 5-6 seconds. It's a long time. And that's a long time that your Tyr is not peeling for you, and it's plenty of time for blue team to go ahead and pick up these kills. So red team just can't. No one can seem to clean it up and get a clean fight. Story of this game.
And to your point about the CC earlier in the game, it worked, but there's so much CC immunity right now on the side of Los Ayahuascas between just items and the beads and Aegis, so relics as well. Looks like Envoy has popped the ultimate to escape. Cheetah walked a little bit too far, and Soul batters him, and Bryson on the back end finds it with the ultimate. And now the Darkest Night will come through. It looks like Xbalanque wants to try and buy some time for his teammates for them to arrive, and he has done that. They find Glavis. Let's see if they can find Awesome Jake. He's a little bit spread out. It looks like the rest of Ohei is trying to regroup, but Pagan will go down before they can do so. So there's only 3 members left alive. One of them had to recall in base. However, the job is done for Ohei because that entire fight was about stopping Los Ayahuascas from taking the Fire Giant.
Yeah, and blue team doing a really good job there cleaning up that fight. While they have a Phoenix down, the last thing they want to do is lose a bad fight because it would be really hard for them to defend Fire and defend that Phoenix at the same time. They'd be split up. But speaking of split up, let's talk about that team fight. The definition of split up there. They go for the pick on the Vimana. The Mantle saves him. Neja gets Robin in the air, but there's no one there to follow up. And then just kind of dies to that Thoth out, which I said in the beginning would be a problem. Now we're 40 minutes into the game. Pretty sure this Thoth is full build, 120% scaling on that ult. I don't care who you are. That's not going to feel good. That's not going to feel good. A fully charged Thoth ult is going to hurt. And as we saw with the Artio there, she's got plenty of defense, and that ult hit her like she was early game.
And we say plenty of, I don't see a lot of magical protections on her, but your point still stands that Friesen, if he doesn't hit that ultimate, then Los Ayahuascas possibly takes that Fire Giant and walks away.
They certainly win that fight way harder. Still good, though, that they stall it out here. They really just want that Phoenix to come up so that they can fight at Fire again. And I think Red Team needs to be posturing to force a fight because they still have the advantage. Blue Team still has that objective down with Fire creeps pouring in. That's something they're always going to have to worry about. I would really like Red Team to try and force something.
They have to be careful, though, because a lot of relics are up for Los Ayahuascas. The Blinks just came back online for Glavis and for Austin Jake, so they could try and find something. In fact, he used it on cooldown. Well, no, not on cooldown. Actually, his dash is not. I thought he used it on cooldown, but Bayroniri, the effect is there. He's been separated from the rest of his team. However, Godfroy might not be able to take him out just yet. The Darkest Night hasn't come through, so this might be a Vimana all on his lonesome. He does have the rest of his team trying to circle back through. Glavis, he blinks forward. The Aegis is there to save Xbalanque, but the Final Judgment finds him on the backside. Chobi will respond with a kill on the Pagan. The poor soul being taken out again, but it might be for a righteous cause, as it looks like Ohei has taken dominion over this fight. But Freyson is caught by Spreen. He was separated from the rest of his team and left alone. Glavis is trying to find a way to turn this one around. Awesome Jake doesn't find anyone on the jump in with the ultimate, and it looks like Chobi will clean up that kill. Ohei is sent packing one more time. They're left in disarray, disorder, and discord. Awesome Jake has used his blink just to escape, but he won't escape for long because he's running the opposite direction. Los Ayahuascas, it looked so bad for them at the beginning of that fight, and yet they turn it around to live another day and fight on and possibly have a Fire Giant.
Red Team just doing the same things there. Like, we see... So I talked about the Artio cripple shutting down the tier and giving him no ability to peel. And so Awesome Jake does a smart thing there. He pre-beatses the cripple, but he does it so that he can engage. Meanwhile, there's a Zhang Kui soloing your soul on the back. Well, not soloing. I mean, the soul got away, but just causing trouble, forcing the soul out of the fight. No way the Zhang Kui is going to die there. He just has too much health, and he's too tanky with that Spirit Robe and that Gem of Isolation. And then we see a really, really good Thoth ult that cleans up that Xbalanque. But as soon as that Thoth dashes in, it seems like all of Red Team's tanks just leave him alone, and he just instantly dies to an Asia and an Ardu in the backline. And so Blue Team just turn around that team fight almost for free. All I want is the Red Team to appeal for one carry. Just one carry. Just one.
You know what? For Christmas, I wanted a pair of red bottom shoes, brother. But I don't know if we're gonna get anything that we want, whether now or in 300 and whatever days until Santa comes back through. As Ohei and Los Iowocas both posturing around this fire giant once again. Eventually, it's gonna be decided here, and Ohei's the one to start the fray as Houdini does get knocked up, but it seems like they were just trying to force them out. On4 was like, just stay away from my carry. He might have been doing a little bit of protection there. The Darkest Night comes through. Glavis, the one guy you wouldn't think would be able to clean up a kill, cleans up Chobi. This might be where Ohei says, we can take this fire giant. It's a 4v5.
Yeah, Glavis deciding after being 1-14 that he might as well slap another kill onto a slash line there. And maybe he'll help out his team a little. It looks like the carries were actually starting to do fire. And Blue Team notices, forcing out the Soul Out, forcing out the Soul Aegis. And Blue Team still looking to fight here, sprint in the back line. He's going to miss that ult, though, and he might be in a bit of trouble.
Yeah, Glavis, Spring was just, I don't know how he got separated from the rest of the team, but it might be dire consequences as Awesome Jake is able to find two and push them back into the squad. Now Cheetah has to try and run away. Houdini is also low. It looks like Baroniri might be the one to have the consequences of their actions as Friesen does find the kill. And now it's a 4v2, or 5v2, I'm sorry. And oh, hey, forget the Fire Giant. They could look to try and push and end this game.
This spells big trouble for Blue Team here. Red Team does need to be careful. Well, no, they had a wave pushing into their left Phoenix, but I think they definitely just pushed for the end here. Long timers, actually, Zhonghui about to be back up. Bainary might fall here. He's going to get away. Zhonghui blinking in, getting big damage, but Red Team committing to the Titan. Wait, they can't get it. They
committed too hard. They committed too hard. Now On4 is one sent running away like a little girl. Packing for the fourth time. I mean, he might as well just get those freaking flyer miles and get a membership with Southwest Airlines as Houdini finds a killing spree on the Glavis. And oh, hey, please finish the game. You've had so many chances. Stop trolling me.
But meanwhile, in mid, this Thothult again. That was Thothult. So Chobi comes out of base, gets the clutch save for his team, blinking in, popping the ult. And then I think he just instantly died to a Thothult on that chase, because I suddenly just saw him disappear while we were watching Erlong clean up Glavis on the right side. And they really do need to be careful of this Thoth, and that's obviously why they're focusing him out so much. Both of these carries on the Red Team, really potent characters that you can't just let free cast. And Blue Team doing a good job. Oh, actually. Oh, Friesen.
Oh, God! Spreen answers back, but it's nowhere near as disgusting as that 1v1 kill. It won't set up much of anything. All I did was get the style on him. It looks like Spreen will just go ahead and push up and take this tower finally. You know what the surprising thing is? After all this, Los Iowocas hasn't even touched the base outside of a Phoenix that was taken by minions. They haven't touched the base of Ohei. Cheetah has to run away from the Vimana. Vimana ult did come through from On4. He's going to keep chasing, but it might be just to keep him from regrouping with his team. He's going to follow through, and that's exactly what it is. He'll just back away. So, all in all, 1-for-1 trade that leads to a tower. But again, it looks like Pyromancer will be started by Ohei. Houdini's here. We're probably going to see another fight, ladies and gentlemen, so get ready.
Yeah, it's, these teams really do just like the fight. Friesen dashing in, getting the solo kill on Expo. I had 50 minutes, which I guess you wouldn't expect, but it's a Thoth, so his damage is pretty scary. Awesome Jake actually cleaning up Spreen in mid, and this could be a good fight for Red Team.
2v1 ends up with a kill, and now Chobi responds with a kill on Pagan. Soul being picked on one more time. Two are rooted here on Ohei. They couldn't go anywhere. Chobi just trying to keep his distance and make sure he doesn't get caught. Glavis does whiff on the jump to try and find the Zhonghui. Awesome Jake, though, won't be the one to miss. He separated him, but just long enough to allow both of his teammates to escape, and Awesome Jake as well. So a lot of what Ohei seemed to be doing there was just stalling to make sure they didn't die to this extremely fed Zhonghui. And Xbalanque is in base dealing with the Phoenix, but just the fact that with one carry alone, Chobi is holding 3 members of Ohei at bay would be concerning if this game wasn't about to hit the 50-minute mark and they weren't behind.
Yeah, these teams. I think these teams might have been messaging each other saying, "Hey, just ignore the fire giant. Let's just meet up in mid until one of us ends this." Playing it almost like Assault, ignoring all the objectives and just continuing to smack each other to no end and to no avail. Blue team though, probably going to get their Phoenix going to be up here in mid soon, so they're going to feel a lot more comfortable. Oh, but I guess the rules are off because the red team posturing to do something here at this fire giant.
Awesome Jake finds Houdini one more time. Looks like they've gone into the backline. They found Chobi, but Mama trying to delete him. And Frozen finds another final judgment on a key carry. This could finally set up the game-winning fight as Cheetah's going extremely low. He has to escape. Erlang Shin will be able to run away, but for how long? Glavis finds Cheetah eventually, and the rest of Los Ayawokas is sent fleeing in fear as Bayaniri has to pop that Rising Jaguar, but he won't be able to escape Awesome Jake for long, and his wrath, Vamana will run into the backline. The Windfire Wheels will catch him to stall just a little bit longer, but I don't know if it'll be long enough to save Los Ayawokas and their base.
Yeah, this is definitely where red team ends. Really, really good fight from them. Oh, and Bayaniri eating the brunt of that Thoth damage again. Red team definitely just ends here. There's no way. I don't see Hunchik getting a penta here. He's trying to delay as much as he can. Nah, that's going to be game. And Frazen finishing it off with the Thoth. Oh.
Over to GG's over to Ohei after a, I won't even say thrilling. That was grueling 50-minute win there because it just felt like one of these teams, either of these teams had the opportunity to end at certain points of the game where they just didn't, and it just went on longer than the game should have. I'll just say it. I'll say right there. The game went on longer than it should have.
Yeah. It was such a bloodbath. I mean, if we're looking at these score lines here, we got a 5 and 15 Ravana, and he's the one with the victory screen. Most people having double-digit deaths. It was just a bloodbath. It was an arena, everybody running down mid, fighting as much as possible. And but Frazen hitting some really, really good Thoth ults at the end there, and making it a clean fight by just taking someone entirely out of it, and they're able to find the victory.
I mean, my God, look at that damage. 52,000 damage. 52,000. I think the closest to him was Pagan at 47,000, which is surprising given that he also died 11 times, only had 4 kills, but he was getting picked on so much. And I mean, Ayawokas, they're doing the right thing. They're picking on a carry, but it wasn't the right carry. And eventually the Friesen just scaled up and started laying down the hammer, taking people behind the shed and showing them who's boss.
Yeah, I think that's just how red team's comp was going to kind of work. They both had carries that you can't just let free cast, and blue team only able to kind of struggling in the end there, only being able to pick on one at a time and letting the other one free cast. It just so happened to be Thoth, which means, as we discussed earlier, you're going to be getting those ultimates at the end of the game, and it's not going to feel good on your carries. We saw there X-Ball just getting deleted, Zhonghui just getting deleted over by that blue buff, led to the fight that ended the game. If I had to give MVP to someone this game, it's actually a toss-up because the Vamana did so much, but I think just because of the game-winning ult, I think we throw it to the Thoth.
Yeah, we had to throw it to this. We had to throw it to Frazen. He had two, not just that last ultimate. He had so many ults where you hit that final judgment onto a carry, and it keeps your team in the fight, keeps you from falling behind, and therefore keeps the game going. So
I think also bonus points for that stylish solo kill in
oh
the
yeah,
mid lane.
oh yeah. I mean, he's out on a Shibalanke who, I mean, he dodges one of those abilities, especially if he dodges the stun. He probably kills Frazen outright, but Frazen landed everything he had to, found the kill. But that's going to do it for us for this game. Stick around, everyone. We're going to be right back with one more. Don't go anywhere. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the finals. Yep, it's the finals. It's a best of one. Smite Prime, Bow for Asgard. We have Sanguine Sports versus hey. For those of you that aren't familiar, Sanguine Sports, LATAM team in the SML right now. All these names should be familiar. You've seen them relatively recently. And on the other side, hey, coming off that long victory over Los Iawokis, whatever. It's Sinfor here with me. Sinfor, looking at this matchup, break it down for me. What are we seeing from hey? Because this is a weird mix and mash of gods.
Yeah, so oh hey, kind of digging the magical ADCs today, and I think Pagan was a little angry about how much of that Zhonghui was in his face last game. So he decided, hey, I'm gonna play this game. I'm gonna play it. But yeah, the Poseidon ADC coming out, going to be providing a lot of clear in the duo lane. We actually see the supports brawling it out in the jungle.
I mean, not surprised. Awesome Jake. We saw him on the tier the last game. Really aggressive. And this time he's the one on the fight back a little bit more with the rings. Wrong you though. It is a Finra. Does do a ton of damage, and you see it right there. Nextroid and the Finra pushing them in. So Sanguine Sports are going to take this early dual lane dominance.
Yeah. So both supports here providing a lot of pressure. Fenrir actually probably could have done a little bit more if he had got that jump stun off. Panatome here.
Panatome, it's 2v1. He's going to find the 2v1. On for almost falls. Panatome should be able to find the kill here eventually. They're going to trade back and forth. He's waiting for the cooldowns, obviously. He has Jarkor. Can he stop the recall before he gets out? He does! He finds the first blood. Onfroy escapes with his life, but not his jungler, Glavis Falls.
Such a good play by the Circuit there. Such a good play. So red team does get the buff, but that double taunt into the one on the Circuit just does so much damage. And Bologna with the easy 3 cleanup for the first blood, that's just gonna putting blue team at a really good advantage going into the start of this game.
And Jarkor, he loves playing this Bologna matchup, especially into a Vermana, because Bologna is so good at 1v1. When you give her a lead that early, I mean, you already see the totem of Ku being taken, so now that's going to be even more buffs across the map for the side of Sanguine Sports. This is just really great for this team so far. Panatome getting in on it. The right side of this map really getting involved early. Their dual lane has been pushed in, so they might lose their purple. Nope, it's not even up, but still, all good things, as you said, starting off for Sanguine Sports. When you look at these builds, are you seeing anything different or strange, Sinful?
No. Honestly,
No.
nothing crazy that I see. I mean, we have a Mage's Blessing on the Vamana, but I'm guessing that's just because he wants to try and outclear the Bologna, who, as you know, with those Clevo autos on the hammer in her too, she's always going to outclear, I guess, maybe if he doesn't grab it. So he wants just that little bit of extra pressure. But over here in duo, I think you're in a little bit of trouble.
One thing that's very different about this hey lane game is the tier was a lot more CC oriented, not really poke. Awesome Jake can lay out so much poke on this Naja and really accentuate this Poseidon pick for Friesen. So I really liked that. And I'll be honest, though, I was hoping for something a little bit more creative because the last game we saw Sunder coming out from Houdini on the Erlong Shin, saw a lot of different relics come through. I was hoping to see a little bit more of that, but both teams recognize how big this finals is. They just going standard, and standard is as standard does. Sanguine Sports, by the way, taking this purple buff.
Yeah, I think Neja electing to go for the more classic horrific that we've seen, that we mostly see with assassin supports. And I mean, that is going to give him a little bit more pressure in lane if he does get a good horrific off. We saw Circuit invade that blue buff, get a successful invade, no problems this time, and no more kills over on that side. But yeah, Bologna is going to be doing a lot. The one thing, a lot of people draft Bologna because, I mean, kind of like the straightforward mindset about Bologna is she shuts down hunters, but red team doesn't have any hunters. And I have a feeling that this AoE burst they're going to bring with Poseidon and the Zhonghui is going to be a lot of trouble, especially for these front liners, even a Bologna at the end of the game.
I couldn't agree with you more. I think a lot of this is comfort for Sanguine Sports. It's they feel they're better, so they're just gonna play comfort lanes, comfort gods. But as you said, for the side of hey, a lot of AoE, a lot of good scaling. They have early power on Pagan. They have good scaling with the Poseidon. They have a lot of good lockdown too, just great damage. So if Sanguine Esports doesn't carve out a lead early, then they might be in trouble. They do have a little bit over 1,000 gold lead right now, but it's still 5 minutes in, so it can easily change. And everyone has their ults up, so the ult economy is stacked for both sides. Trying to look at items, but no one has a definitive item advantage besides this Poseidon. He already has the first beginnings of what item do you think he's going to be building there? I don't want to assume anything, as Panatom actually finds a kill elsewhere on the map.
Yeah, Vamana. So good. I like the Serket pick here. She's gonna ult the Vamana and he's gonna die. He can't heal with that Deathbane on him, and that's the story of that gank over there. So, well, and also to answer your question, that's definitely gonna be a Celestial Legion helm, because the other helm has to do with healing. Poseidon not having any of that wouldn't make any sense. Poseidon just doing that for the extra protections. Over on the left side, Frazen actually finding a kill on Orangu.
It looks like I assume Rongu overstepped his bounds. That's something that in both these previous games, Frizen has gotten these early kills, and Panatom might be found out he is. The Acorn did hit. He's able to jump out. So Panatom almost losing his life. I believe he did have to use a Purification Beast for that as well, so that won't be there for the next engagement or disengagement, whichever one happens first. Looks like Shinto has been pinched, though, by the side of hey, he does have Rongu here to help. He does throw out the portals to try and do some damage and get away. Rongu just trying to stall out. He almost pulled him back into Panatom, but the ult didn't last long enough, so Awesome Jake is able to run away there. So a little bit of a skirmish. Not anyone dying, however. 2 ults down for the side of Sanguine Esports. And for the side of hey, they almost have all their ultimates back up again, so they can definitely try and use that to engage another fight around this Gold Fury.
Yeah, we're starting to see a little bit of a lead here for blue team. And actually, so what blue team's entire comp is centered around, in my opinion, right here, is picks. They have a Janus, they have a Fenrir, they have a Serket. They're going to look for picks, whether it's a Janus ult out of nowhere and the entire team comes through for, just an epic engage, or, Serket probably eventually picking up that blink when she hits level 12. She's going to be looking for ganks like we see over here on the right side with this Vamana. They're looking for picks. And what red team is not letting them do is feel comfortable in the jungle, which is exactly what red team does need to do. Because if blue team isn't comfortable in the jungle, they can't set up for those picks. And red team just needs to keep on this pressure. Because I think at the end of the day, red team does have the better team fight. They have way more AoE. And if they survive that pick, if a carry gets away or blue team isn't comfortable enough to get that pick, red team's going to start winning the fight every time, as long as they don't lose this lead, because they are 2K down right now.
So it's a game of survivability for hey, and you already see Sanguine Esports. I now I kind of understand the Bologna pick even more, as actually the ultimate will come out from Nejal. They do find one. He will fall down. Pagan will pick up the kill on the Panatom. The rest of the team is here, though. It looks like the Ratatosk try and go up and find anything else. Ostriak being pulled back in by Rongu, but he's on the wrong side of the map. And now Jarkor trying to make things last a little bit longer, just trying to turn a kill back around on this Bologna. So survivable in these fights, but has to leave his own ultimate. Shinto, though, he baited him close up to that wall for the Jonas to find the kill, and he does. The portal as well might set up Pagan. The rest of the team is there. The blink comes through from Glavis. Glavis does end up helping Pagan find a kill. Glavis might be there to help secure Bologna, but no. Jarkor turns it back around, and now that Bologna wants a little bit more. He does miss one, but he won't miss his second ability. And so overall, it turns out to be a nice 3 for 4 in favor of Sanguine Esports, and Pagan just sacrifices his life to the minion to make sure he doesn't give any more gold over to Sanguine.
Bologna doing what Bologna does best, 3v1ing in the jungle, I guess. I guess that is what Bologna is best at, because she does, and even though she doesn't get the kill on a Pagan, I guess we can call it a triple kill there. Couldn't spot him around the corner. Really great fight, like I said. Red's keeping the pressure on, and they're not letting blue group up and get ready for those picks. So we see Pagan, getting that early kill and just forcing the fight into red team's favor. even with this gold deficit that actually hasn't gone anywhere because of the Jarkor cleanup at the end there. You know, red team really sticking the fight to them and doing a lot with it. They just need a clean fight, I guess, that isn't controlled by the solo laners at the end.
And Jarkor is there to help his jungler. He does get the stun onto Glavis, but the sash will land to stop him from chasing the Ratatosker. The portals does whiff, however, Pantom does decide to rejoin the fight. They get tossed up, and it looks like there will be no kills here today. But I spoke too soon as the Vamana does get killed. Shinto gets the kill on a Pagan as well. Now they're all going to try and close on an Awesome Jake around the turret. The aggro is held. Shinto just comes around and finds one more. And so Sanguine Esports starting to run away with this game. Seems their strategy is working out much better than the side of Oh Hey wanted it to, as Vamana does try and go back in again. Or no, not Vamana, it's Glavis. He does get portaled. He will survive, but not before losing half his health.
And Janus too, a little off the mark there. So let's talk about that fight. Actually, hold up. This Poseidon could be in trouble.
Yeah, the Kraken doesn't do the damage he wanted to, but the pool might be able to find a kill. It does not. Pantom cleans it up. Netroid's the one that gets the credit. So he gets caught between a rock and a hard place, being in the wrong place, trying to take that red buff, and gets cleaned up. One more kill going over to Sanguine.
So if we're looking at that last team fight, here's what's going on. I think that blue team has finally found a little bit of respite in their Bologna. He's so fed. 3 levels above the Vamana over on the right side. That is where blue team feels comfortable in the jungle, and so that's where they're going. You can see Nejal gets a good ult, but hold on, Metroid in a little bit of trouble here.
Awesome Jake does end up finding a kill, and they will be able to skedaddle before Giannis gets there. He does miss the drop, and he didn't get the ult off as well. Awesome Jake, though, might be caught out. He looked like he wanted to go in for Giannis, and instead just ends up getting caught by wrong use ultimate, so he'll fall eventually. Pagan here wanting to help out, but they're just not able to get any damage onto this Giannis. He pops to Aegis, and he even pops the beat as well to make sure he survives any damage Pagan has out. The stun comes through, so eventually, slowly but surely, this Jean-Qui should fall to Aegis. Being perfectly timed, might be able to turn this around. Poseidon is there. Rongu actually jumps in a turret, trying to bait out this kill, but he won't be able to find it. So a great job there by Pagan, having the fancy feet, buying time for Friesen to join and get the kill. But on the other side, in their own jungle, Glavis falls to Pantom once again. So this is 2 games in a row that Glavis has not had the best match of his life.
Yeah, blue team. So blue team starting to find their stride. Panatome, so comfortable in this right jungle now. You see him, just like I said, looking for picks, gets the pick on Glavis. But red team as well, having their own kind of pick prowess over in the left jungle, taking down Netroid with that early Nejal. They actually do drop the kill under tower on the Jean-Qui. I think Ranagu's feeling himself a little too much. We saw him with the spam laughing over and right. He actually paused and did kind of a BM back in front of the tower there because he didn't know the Poseidon was coming around the corner, and he ends up dropping the kill on that Jean-Qui there. So that fight goes a little bit more in red team's favor over on the left side.
I mean, you can't BM until the bag is secured. It's simple.
You really can.
But I think another thing that has to be pointed out is that Ohei is doing their best to pick on Netroid, as he seems to be the only member of this team that can be killed and ganked. And
Jingwei is a character that you're going to want to keep down, because late game Jingwei is not fun to deal with at all. And Jingwei, with her passive, being able to fly onto the map pretty much anywhere, can secure backs a lot more than another ADC would, and then get back to lane very quickly. I mean, she's going to be able to farm way faster, and so hit that 6-item, level 20, scary Jingwei place a lot sooner than another ADC would be able to. So picking on the Jingwei, I like that. Although it is kind of hard to pick on a Jingwei. She's a very safe character. Her ult, goes a million miles away, and it's CC immune. She takes no damage in it. But over on the left side, red team,
they
just snuck a Gold Fury, and it's free. Blue team had no idea.
I mean, blue team was everywhere else on the map, taking the jungle buffs, taking the camps, taking towers. So I think it's a great concession for Ohei, finding that and being able to escape with their lives intact. I think going back to Netroid is, I like the point you made about it being really, really hard to lock down this Jingwei until she runs into the Neja like that, and he's still able to get away slowly but surely. There's a killing spree onto this Jean Kui. Pagan fell over. I think it was Jarkor that picked up that one. Either that or he helped out with it. Either way, it will be a 4v5 on the map. It looks like Sang will just go back to operational duties, and they'll send Jarkor back to that solo lane. And because of that, Netroid's going to get ganked here underneath turret, and eventually will fall to Friesen. So there they go again, picking on Netroid.
Yeah, they're doing a really great job of locking down this Jingwei, which, like I said, I can't stress enough how hard it is to lock down this Jingwei, but they forced the beads out, and Netroid is staying too long. He doesn't have to stay there with his passive. He can literally back, heal up, and fly back in, but he overstays, and they clean him up anyways. And really good on Red Team there. They understood that, hey, you know what?
Oh, no.
Oh, no. Wait, no, it's Glavis that's in trouble. And like I said, picks in the jungle. What is Glavis doing? He's half health looking for a back camp invade, and he just dies for it. Not the smartest play by him there.
Yeah, they're playing like they were last game, and this is a much better team. Not trying to take anything away from Aookis from the last match, but I mean, it's Sanguine Esports. They're an SML team. Jarkor's going to go ahead and try and dive on the tower. He's really just proxy farming at this point. And this entire plan you spoke of earlier in the game has just come to fruition for them. They have Jarkor making sure that, most importantly, that Vamana cannot join these fights and stick onto their backline and be that nuisance that he can be. And Panatom's going to join in. They're going to kill Onfroy here eventually. He's going to go immune and escape. Will he? No, the point isn't actually gets the kill. Panatom claiming another one. And it's setting up the rest of their team because they realize there's already enough pick potential as there is for the rest of Sanguine. They don't need Jarkor. So he can just pick on Vamana and keep him up top in lane. We're going to see that here in a duo lane.
Yeah, Red Team was doing a really good job early. But over here on the left side, Red Team actually in a little bit of trouble. Poseidon, Aegis forced out. And no one, but a good stun by the Jean Kui.
A fantastic bait it looked like for the side of Sanguine East. Falling. Pagan does pick up one on the back, and Ratatosker does come all the way from across the map to try and help the team. He pops his immunity so he doesn't fall through the portal, so they do pick up 2 to respawn. It's a 3v2 so far, but I don't know if Glavis will be able to escape this one just yet. He has 3 of the most mobile members of Sanguine Esports following him. He does eventually have to pop his own blink just to escape, and now that could set them up to take this tower. Sanguine Esports, he's getting a little bit cheeky. Showing a little bit of fight, but it still goes over to the boys in blue.
Yeah. Red Team was doing a really good job early, putting pressure on Blue Team and not letting them play off of their pick comp. But now, the huge gold, it's a 9K gold deficit, and Blue Team's just kind of running away with these team fights. There's not much Red Team can do. I guess they do get a couple kills there, but they lose the fight overall, and they're losing towers. The probably only good thing for Red Team in that fight is that the Vamana is getting some good farming right, which he needs desperately because he got good farm here, and he's still 3 levels down on this Bellona, and she's causing so much trouble. 5-0 and 9 there. That's quite the slash line. And the last thing Red Team wants is a fed Bellona.
And she hasn't even started truly joining fights yet. I mean, she has all of these reductions so far in her build with some extra laning power with the Berserker Shield to just fight this Vamana. And I shudder to wonder what happens when she joins a full 5v5 instead of these while she's bullying Onfroy here in the solo lane. Awesome Jake going to be found by Rongu. Rongu pulls them back in, but there's no one to really follow up on it. The portals will be put there by Giannis, and it will help Rongu escape. So just being a little bit over aggressive, but again, he has the mobility, the escape to get out of there thanks to his Giannis.
Yeah, a little bit of a wasted Fenrir ult there. So with this comp, he really can't be Fenrir ulting people like that to bring him back to his team because there's no one, like, a Janus isn't going to burst a tanky Neja just just during the duration of Fenrir. It's not going to happen whatsoever. So Ronigu probably should have been a little bit more sparing with the ult there. But, over here on the right side, Bologna gets a 4-man ultimate and tons of damage, and the Janus ult going to get her out.
Yarkor was just 4v1ing. Friesen will get the shutdown, but the rest of his team is in a shambles. The Kraken will come through. He gets a double kill. So Sanguine overstepping and finally getting punished for it as the Friesen on this Poseidon picks up 2, only for the sacrificial lamb of Onfroy.
Yeah, but they're actually going to be losing this left tier 2 here to the Jingwei. We actually haven't seen Jingwei rotate almost at all, I think. And Glavis going to be in some trouble here in the mid lane, but Trickhead doesn't have ultimate available. And I think that was a beat out of Glavis. It was. So Glavis not going to have those beats available in the next fight. So, yeah, Sanguine does kind of overstep their boundaries there, and they lose the fight. But they get a tier 2 and gold off of that. And that is not good for Red Team. Red Team needs this farm so bad, and yeah, they won the fight, but they don't get anything off of it. And tier 2 tower and Gold Fury, no, I'm weighing that on the scales. That over a couple kills, I think it wins every time.
And you know what? The crazy thing is, I remember watching a DM Brandon stream one time, and he was talking. He was also playing Bologna, and how sometimes it doesn't matter if you die, because you've done your job in preoccupied team. He had 4 people on top of him and lasted long enough to do just as you said and allows him to pick up objectives. And now he has the hide of the urchin, so he's going to just survive even longer. And he's just this huge split push threat that Ohei has no real answer to.
Yeah, Bologna is just so huge, and I think Bologna knows the only way they're getting shut down is if like 4 or 5 members of Ohei rotate. And as you can see there, gets a ginormous Bologna ult, and Bludgeon actually does more damage when there's more people around. So it gets a ton of damage off, and time for his team to dive, and they clean up that Vamana in that fight. But over here on the right side, something's happening.
It looked like Panatom had been caught out. He does eventually, but Netroid is able to clean up on the back, and he's doing so much damage. He gets a double kill. Jarkor didn't really hit anyone with the flag, but he's still able to disrupt the back line. Pagan does find a double. Friesen finds one more. So now the mages of Ohei have shown up to the party, and they're getting kills. Onfroy is trying to fend off both this Fenrir and this Bologna. Rongu does hop on to the Poseidon, does stun him up just for a little bit longer. Jarkor whittling down at this Vamana, but overall, again, Ohei fighting back. They find 3 kills for 2, so they are just barely winning these team fights over Sanguine Esports. Sanguine may be starting to show a little bit of concern because they're not winning these fights as clear because they were supposed to.
Yeah, I would have thought that with that double kill out of Netroid early, so the Jingwei finally rotates and is getting these kills, but somehow the fight just turns for the worse. Janus dying on the back line to that Zhonghui bleed, and an unfortunate cripple takes out the Jingwei from the Poseidon. Poseidon actually causing a lot of trouble here. You look at that build, Gemma ISO and the cripple are not going to be able to get away. And this Fenrir, 2 of his abilities can be crippled out by Poseidon Whirlpool. And so he's not going to be able to do what he wants to do in fights, and that is not good for Blue Team.
He's even picked up the Lobo's mask to try and... What? There's a fight going on in the jungle. I'll have to save that for another minute as they want down. Dead timers are on Panatom and on Friesen. Looks like Netroid will escape. Pyromancer thinking about starting up was on Froy, but he will just leave it alone because he knows although Panatom is down, there are much bigger threats that are still alive on the map, and so they'll just have to back away. So a nice little skirmish there. Goes even, but I think overall it might benefit Sanguine Esports.
Yeah, I think we're about the 23-minute mark. I think we're going to start seeing some fights over here on Fire Giant. And right as I say that, Awesome Jake in so much trouble trying to get away. Ronigu on the chase.
But he can't finish the kill. Actually, he does finally get the jump in to get there. I was so afraid he wasn't going to be able to. Glavis has to use his own ultimate just to escape before dying. And now this will give Sanguine so much control over this Fire Giant pit, and they're going to go ahead and start it.
All right, I do not know what Netroid is doing over here in mid. Wasting so much time. I think he should have gone straight to fire. And I guess they get it for free anyways, but a little bit of a waste of time over there. Bologna alting Fire Giant just for the protections. It's not even upgraded fire, so maybe a bit of a waste. Would have liked to see her save that maybe for just in case there was a re-engage from red team, but doesn't seem to matter. Blue team, they're going to get the fire giant. They're going to get the portal demon as well, and that's going to be really good for them. They're going to look here to start pushing tier 2 towers and make this game theirs.
And I have to look at Poseidon right now. Friesen has to be really, really careful. Shinto's here, can possibly try to look for the only one. The portals do come through. The ultimate finds him. However, the drop won't be there, so he's able to dodge, dive, and dodge out and actually get the Aegis from Netroid. The Windfire wheels actually catches up Shinto before he finishes the kill, and now that will allow Friesen to get out scot-free. Jarkor does respond, though, and he jumps right on top of the head of the Neja, and they pick up 2 for 1. And now they're going to keep bullying mid. Onfroy does get found by Panatom. Wrong, you want to find the ultimate, but it does get answered by Onfroy's own, so he won't get picked up and pulled back into the team. Pagan trying to clear the wave. But all in all, great fights from Sanguine. Secures them more kills. Will secure them this Primal Hunter, Gold Fury, and more of an advantage going into this game. It's 24-16. The gold lead is creeping up to about 10,000 right now, and Sanguine in the driver's seat.
So Sanguine kind of winning that fight just because they get the Gold Fury there. But just a little bit of trouble for them, actually. Freyson with the cheeky red steel. It's so hard to lock down a Poseidon character, just so speedy. But Janice is too. But Janice almost getting out, but kind of out of the fire or out of the frying pan into the fire there. Does fall to the Zhang Kui. I kind of want to see Blue a little bit more grouped. I don't want to see them throw this game away. You know, they've been playing it so cleanly. They were really, really struggling, but we got to pause here. Guessing someone's disconnected.
Yeah,
Ronnie here.
Yeah, Panatom pausing it for wrong you. You're talking about having Jarkor, and I have to agree with you because when you look at his items are all built for team fight. He's not like he built a bunch of split pushing damage to try and just fight the Vamana. And while he is drawing many people to him at one time, the rest of his build could benefit his team way more if he was around to give those extra protections, those extra reductions and mitigations. And his team seems to suffer sometimes from him just not being there. You talked about how it's becoming hard from Rangu to jump in and be that Finner that can go into the backline and find a pick because of the Poseidon Whirlpool and because of Zhang Kui being able to output damage now. And I think Sanguine, they're having a good time. They're up a lot, so they have a lot of wiggle room. But eventually it's going to start to catch up with them and cause them to lose more fights and possibly lose the game as we fight start there. And I was just talking about Zhang Kui, and he goes extremely low. Jarkir trying to go for the fry on the Poseidon. Onfroy, though, separating him, but he might fall here to Netroid. He's able to still umbrella his way out. The portal comes through. They find Pagan. He does pop the Aegis. Let's see if they can find any more. Netroid. Pagan
coming out of the Jing Wei
finally comes down, or falls. Glaive is finding Shinto as well. So it's still a 1-for-1 trade despite all that happening. Netroid finds a kill on a Glavis. And it looks like Ohei might eventually be cleaned up here.
And this is just a big trouble for a red team because now the oh no, Jingwei in so much trouble. Actually going to fall there. And Jarkor, well, I did say earlier that Bologna was the queen of 3v1s, and it looks like she might be doing it again here in the mid lane. Ronigu trying to do anything to help, but I think red team just goes ahead and disengages here. Really, really weird, sloppy engagements in the jungle. I mean, first we see the kind of over excessive chase onto the Poseidon after he steals red, and that kind of leads to a sloppy fight. And then this, after the pause goes away, we see this random fight at back camps. More of an engage by red team there, but I don't know if blue team takes the fight so much. They're still 2 tier 2s. I feel like they had a lot of gold in their coffers before that fight started. I don't see why they don't just back bend it and then push the lead that they had already gained. But Serket over here posturing for a pick is going to jump in and look to do something.
She will jump immediately back out. She does have the Finrer here with her. Rongyu is trying to push this wave in and get it set up for this next tower. I like the thought, every MOBA is about wave management. And this one is no different. They tried to find a pick, but it wasn't fully there just yet. But they are getting control around this fire giant pit again, which is the ultimate goal. They do ping down on the speed, but they have found four, and they see four. They're like, we're only two of us. We can do that math. Let's just dip out. And this is Sanguine now showing some more respect now that we're getting later into this game.
Yeah, the big issue here is blue team's comp, like I said, is focused around picks and fighting in the jungle. And red team has a really good team fighting comp, which how much AoE damage is. So blue team, because of their sloppy fights, hold that. We got to fight over on the right side, or
Yeah,
maybe not.
they were skirmishing in the jungle for a long there, but no one fell. However, two ultimates were used by Sanguine. It was Panatome and Shinto using both of theirs, and they'll dip out. I think there was a blink used by the Circuit, but as far as any other relics, none that are life threatening really were used by Sanguine Sports. On the other side, though, there are a lot of crucial relics popped, and this one might be one of them that might come back to bite him. It
This
will
could
be on
spell
Froy.
trouble.
On
And
Froy
that
falling.
spells a lot of trouble for red team here. Their Vamana, who's finally level 20, is going to be causing a lot of trouble in the back line, has fallen. And what I was about to say earlier is that red team having such a good team fight has a much better fight at an upgraded fire giant. And blue team had thrown their fire away, and I thought that was going to spell some trouble because I see red team winning the fights way harder in a fire giant contesting situation. Awesome Jake actually whiffing the ult, and blue team's going to go in here.
And it looks like they might find Awesome Jake. He's able to escape for now. We're separating the back line again, but Pagan is there. He wants to find some kills. He's a very healthy John Quee, but apparently not because he has his health taken. And now he will be able to trade 1-for-1 with Netroid. Netro finding Glavis on Freud Falls as well. So Sanguine taking the 2-for-1, but they'll decide to go ahead and recall. It took too much damage, so they can't go for the Fire Giant.
Yeah, again here, blue team maybe needing to just play back onto the objective a little bit more there after the Vamana died. Just another, I guess not. It's just kind of a random fight. I guess no one really gets anything off of it. Netroid doing a good job of cleaning up the rat after he takes out the Janus.
Yeah,
I would really like to see him. I would really like to see them start posturing for fire, especially after a pick like that. Their whole comp being centered around a pick.
I think that they just really were like, I think Sanguine's getting antsy. I think they realize, hey, we maybe should have even won this game by now. We're getting into the 30-minute mark. We need to go ahead and finish this. And so they're getting a little bit antsy, and it's allowing OA to find picks and stay in the game. It looks like Rongu has been found over here near the Fire Giant pity. We'll be able to escape for now. Don't believe he had to use any of his relics there either. The ultimate from Shinto will whiff, but it was more of a warning shot just to graze him and be like, hey, back away from my support, guys. So Netroid will go ahead and recall, but this should give Ohei control of the Fire Giant pit and the Pyromancer.
Yeah, this is not good. This is not good for blue. We have a Bologna over on the left side. Red team has complete ward control over Fire Giant, and Panatone trying to do anything. I don't know if risking his life or his health bar for a portal demon is any good to him. But Vamana in a little bit of trouble here, and he's going to fall to the anti-heal.
And Netroid finds a kill as well. Rattosker wasn't able to find the backline. So finding it, Bryson responding, but Pantone blinks into the back line. The Aegis does come through from Friesen, but he should be cleaned up here eventually by Jarkor. And while Sanguine Esports look like they were turning things around, cleaning up the fight, two more members on their side fall. So it's a 3-for-3 so far. Jarkor is still fighting in his jungle. He has purple buff as well, so he's harder to take down than most. It looks like the ultimate from the Ninja will eventually come through, and he will be dropped back down to earth on his head, and the kill will follow. So Ohei cleaning up the fight, finding 4-for-3. No one taking the objective, but Ohei showing a little bit of fight.
I'm wondering if this is going to start. I'm wondering if Sanguine is going to fall into the same trap that Red Team fell in here last time. Because the big issue that Red Team had here was last game was that they weren't peeling for their carries. And now it looks like Blue Team's carries are just peeling or are just dying in the back line to the rat no matter what. So they need to play back a little bit more and not be as aggressive. If they're not getting these picks, they kind of need to disengage and wait for Red Team to come back at them so that they can re-engage with that Bologna ult. Right now, Fenrir Turquette looking to posture on the right side. I'd like to see blue team here get any kind of ward control over the fire giant. And it looks like both teams just kind of electing to farm. But the fight will definitely be taken back over to the fire giant here. Red team all posturing around that speed buff. Both teams grouping up. We might see some action over here on the right side. Awesome Jake actually sashing in, looking for the CC immunity onto the Circuit. Actually takes him in the air, but Ronadu looking for something of his own. Not going to get it. Rat on the back line. Shinto in a lot of trouble in mid. He's going to get away, but the fight continues over on the right side. Panatom looking to back. Jarkor doing a good job getting his team out there, providing a really, really, really good front line. Jingwei actually late to that fight, not going to be able to do anything. And Jarkor just boxing out here over on the right side. Red team electing to back. Blue team starting to get some sentry wards around on the fire giant. And I'm thinking blue team looks to do the fire giant here. Red is really, really poked out. And we're actually going to go to a quick break here. We're having some technical difficulties. We will be right back. Don't go anywhere.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for being patient with us through our technical difficulties. And it looks like we had one fall during that break, and Sanguine Esports now going to try and follow through in this right lane. Killing spree for Panatom. They're just going to completely wipe the floor with Oh Hey. It will be Pagan left. He pops all his relics, but it won't be enough. Panatom picks up the double, and all that's left is Glavis to try and defend this Phoenix with his lonesome self.
That's a clean 4 kills for Sanguine Esports here, and they're going to be able to easily. So the Hunter does fall, but they're going to be able to easily put down this right Phoenix, I think, even with Awesome Jig coming back up. Really, really good fight. They didn't actually secure fire. We might be seeing blue team here go for the Phoenix and then go to fire. It depends on the 30 seconds for Netro to come up. It might be pretty hard to do it. I think they're just going to be looking to farm a few. Yeah, they're just going to farm a few buffs in the jungle, synchronize their backs, head back to base, spend that gold, and then go to fire.
Yeah, very smart plays. Don't overstep your bounds. Don't try and go in the game. Just do things slow. You know you are in the driver's seat. You have a very comfortable lead. Play it like you'd play it in, the minor league, and just go through the motions on this one, but not to say just relax and take your foot off the gas, but do exactly what's expected of you. And they're just inching closer and closer to this being GG, 35-25, almost again another 10,000 gold lead being built up. And looking at the items, I mean, everybody is just so far behind on the side of Oh Hey. They're able to take some fights, but they have to be near perfect.
Yeah, it is about 36 minutes here, so everyone's about 6 slotted. I don't know if the gold difference matters that much, but actually, blue team go ahead. They're going to go ahead and secure this Oni Fury, and that's going to be pretty good for them just because now they have these empowered waves. So while they're fighting red team for fire, red team also has to worry about these horribly annoying waves pushing down their Phoenix or their Phoenixes, or the left Phoenix or the tier 2 tower in mid. Meanwhile, blue team going to try and take a fight at Fire Giant and make this game theirs. They postured to try and steal Pyromancer there, but couldn't quite get it. Looks like Oh Hey went ahead and outscored them on that one.
And, I mean, like you said, those minions, it's going to set up this Fire Giant because you had to pay attention to them. Although, I will say Sanguine didn't do a very good job of pushing the waves before they started this, but it doesn't matter. They should be able to still pick up the kill onto Awesome Jake, and Jingwei will have to actually dodge out from the damage. Panatom does pick up the Rampage, and they're going to go ahead and storm through Jarkor by himself, but it seems slowly following up. Rongu will be there. Friesen does get the kill. Rongu can't take out the Poseidon, so Friesen able to run away. Vermont pops the ultimate. Radatowsker is here. He uses his own to stop Rongu in his tracks. The wolf will still be able to walk away slowly but surely, but with his tail between his legs, Oh Hey is saying, we're not done just yet. You can't walk all over us. You gotta be a little bit more careful starting these Fire Giants. Otherwise, we're going to take this game right back.
I think blue team could have done a little bit more there if they had been able to kill Awesome Jake a little bit quicker. They actually had to expend Jingwei ult, Janus ult, and Serket ult all onto one Neja. Meanwhile, Bologna doing a great job of 4v1ing in the back line, but couldn't quite clean up all four of them. Jarkor, or Ronigu, my bad, not able to clean up the kill on Poseidon because of the cripple on his Whirlpool. Couldn't get that brutalized off to get that little bit of health that was left. But blue team here, they're gonna do this. Wait,
Yeah.
I don't know if red team realizes it or not. They're starting to collapse.
They
But
don't
Fire Giant's so healthy, not even a half healthy yet.
They didn't have any wards forward in the actual pit, and not anywhere they could see the rotations from Sanguine. So it's almost down. It's at 25%. Onfroy is here. He actually pops his own relic to help stop some of the damage. The pools are there, but Sanguine's still able to secure it. Panatone will find the kill. Awesome Jake took one into the sky trying to find someone on the back end, but Netro was able to dodge the timing on the Kraken. And now this should be the cleanup from the side of Sanguine. They find one, they find another. The rest of OHA slowly falling down. And Glavis will be the last of the Mohicans here. Pagan able to recall back, but with Fire Giant under their belt, enhanced Fire Giant under their belt, and with a Phoenix down, it should be extremely easy for Sanguine Esports to finish off this game.
Now that is what I call a clean team fight. They committed to the Fire Giant, which was a risky call because they had to depend on their Janus securing it with his ultimate ability. He actually didn't secure it with his ultimate ability. It was super late. Metroid, I think, got it with the lucky auto. So really good. Well, probably just RNG for blue team here. And they're going to deicide red team and go ahead and take down that Titan. Great game by blue team. Struggled a little bit in the early game with their pick comp, but they turned it around. They played off of the huge lead on Bologna, and in the end, it says victory on their screen.
Yeah, what looked like I mean, you got to give props, period, because they kept up with him, as you said, in the early game, and they definitely threw a punch, but then Jarkor and company came back with a haymaker, and specifically Jarkor. I feel like if he didn't have as good of a game as he did in their early portions, then maybe this game isn't as easy as Sanguine. I'm not going to say they don't win the game, but maybe it's not as easy for them to find the W if he doesn't pop off on Bologna, take up Vamana's time, make him go 0-9-12, and therefore set up the rest of the 4v5 for success. So off the back of that, who do you think is the MVP? Because I'm leaning toward Jarkor.
Yeah, I definitely want to say Yarkor on the Bologna was the MVP of the game. Yeah, I mean, we're looking at slash lines here. Serket's 13-3, but that Serket is not 13-3 without anything the Bologna was doing. They were struggling so much early to play off those picks. Serket kind of not able to get anything in the jungle. As soon as Bologna gets that huge lead, Serket's invading the blue on cooldown, getting picks on the Vamana and right. And then at the end of the game, Bologna literally in some of the fights 4v1ing and getting out. 4v1ing and getting out. Pretty insane by Bologna there. Definitely. And look how much damage out of the Bologna too, just causing so much trouble for red team. We definitely have to throw the MVP over to Jarkor, 8-4 and 29 on the Bologna.
And that will be all she wrote. Thank you all for tuning in and watching, as it will be Sanguine Esports winning the finals of the Battle of Asgard. That'll do it for us tonight. This has been Culture, joined by Sin4. Everyone, thank you.